What do you get when you put 1,000 horsepower into the body of a fully electric, purpose-built race car? The Temple of Speed will come to life tonight, but it will not be roaring, it will be buzzing.
Home of the Italian Grand Prix, they call it the Temple of Speed, but these tight chicanes and fast straights are going to provide some crazy challenges for these cars. They are uniquely mobile and immobile, I've heard. They're going to really struggle to hustle their way around here with a little bit of contact, but we're going to see some blazing fast speed down the start-finish straight across the circuit. Almost 1,000 horsepower in qualifying, which we're almost ready to get to any time now, actually.
Yes, 3.6 miles along the track, comprising mostly of infamously long straights into very sharp braking zones, and this car definitely has the horses to go in a straight line, but maybe not the capabilities to go around some of these corners as we are now going into qualifying here.
I just take one look at this thing going out as fast as it is. It's all-wheel drive, although I believe set with a bias in iRacing that will result in the rear wheels taking a little bit more power. This is our number one driver in the lobby. I'm going to get his name up any second now. It's Piersbury, though, while I work on that.
It is standard iRacing qualifying rules. You have 2 flying laps here. Come around the final corner. This is also in qualifying trim and deploy mode, which means you have access to 1,000 horses in the back. Pierce puts the foot down and is going to take the green flag. Okay.
Very, very fast running down these straights and corners. Certainly sounds very, very different, but I'm a big fan of electric racing, and myself, I've been to Formula E in London plenty of times, and I'm doing the European Tour next season. Monaco, Berlin, and London. I get to see the Monaco Grand Prix for cheap, but these cars, I've not seen the Mission Rs in person, but generally electric cars are so much more lively than you can really give them credit for. They are absolute monsters on the straights, and they can absolutely hustle it around there. We're going to be doing a 20-minute race sprint format in order to determine the winner in this week's SOF lobby. There is still a Mission R community. They like to run twice a week, and this is usually their biggest time slot. We got 14 on the road today.
Heavy engine with a lot of power to it, and because it's electric, you get all of that torque as soon as you put the foot down. Makes it very squirrely on exit, combined with the brakes that aren't necessarily up to the same level as a car that has that kind of power, and you end up with something that behaves kind of a lot more like a stock car than a purpose-built racing machine, and it's just very easy to throw through the corners as Piers manages to get through the Ascari chicane there, heading towards the room curve of Parabolica, now curve Alboreto.
They changed the name? Did they take away my Parabolica?
It is curve Alboreto nowadays, unfortunately.
They have taken away my Parabolica while I wasn't looking.
It will be Parabolica in your heart forever.
As a Tifosi, I mean, you can't change my track no matter how significant the name. As here is our first lap getting done across the line. It's a 1:41.2.
Good enough for provisional pole of the 2 drivers that have set the lap, as Isabel Matthews not quite able to get that pace. Going back on board with Olivia Haywards as she heads toward the line. A very interesting paint there being run.
It's not that car?
I think that's meant to be a face, but the fidelity of it is not quite there that I can make out what it is.
She's known about this broadcast for a while. Did she set us up? I don't know what that is. I love the way they stick the car numbers on the grill for these, by the way. That is so... There's the Blahay. I believe the official pronunciation is the Blahay. Blahay United Autosports. I have 4 of those things. I have 4 of them. I dig and respect it. A lot of drivers getting quite close lap times near the top. We go all the way down to the 1:45 near the bottom, but a couple 1:41s have hit the board.
Matthews pulls over, presumably got the 1X and decides to just take the reset there. Piersbury still leads the field, 2/10 then to Isabel Matthews, followed by Georgie Trepchik. That's what I definitely can't pronounce properly. Olivia Haywards.
Trepchik I'll go with.
Trepchik. That makes more sense. Ellis Spice currently in 5th then, as we see him come through Scary Chicane. And there's just this glorious run, which isn't anything on qualifying. You have 1,000 horsepower here, but you're just on your own, just waiting to find this brake marker into what will forever be on our hearts, be Parabolica, even if they do rename it.
Ellis Spice's first time on the channel, we caught him running a Formula Ford Festival split. He didn't even know we were watching. Love seeing him around the IndyCar communities, and even trying to bring some love to my favourite little car in iRacing, the IRO1, one day will be restored to true glory.
What glory?
Have you driven it?
Yes, it's a weapon.
It's amazing. Nord's week went off hard. All right, Nord's week went off very, very hard, and then it's fallen off again. It's one of those things we might bring a league to at one point if there's enough popularity and interest in it. I'd love to bring those cars out for a few weeks, but obviously you have to make sure you sort of have the attention and the sign-ups.
Well, that is a futurist concern. We go back to the current, as we see is Istvan Takacs, currently P11 on the grid out of 14 cars. Would like to try and make an advancement there, but needs to just keep it all on the track. He's definitely got 4 seconds down right now, so there's plenty of time to improve into. Presumably just had a scuffed lap and couldn't quite find the time, so he could definitely advance. Even just an improvement at 0.05 would get a position on the grid, so good chance here.
We have a predicted lap tech, and it's not looking great. It might be an improvement, but it might not be worth grid positions.
Charge down into the chicane. Takes a chunk of grass on the entry there. Won't help the braking, but does bring the prediction down. I don't know if he went too wide there, though. He stepped right off into the grass.
Got to brake late and hard to hustle it into these chicanes. We'll see whether it's valid when he crosses the line. This would be worth a couple positions as it stands, as it gets cut down even further into Parabolica. That car is gone. We've run out of time for qualifying on a heater.
Oh,
you hate to see it. But that indeed is time over, because we have to very quickly run through it again. Try and get through as much of this as you possibly can while we grid, because you're not going to get very long.
Well, Piersbury put it on pole in that first lap and stayed there the entire way through qualifying. He'll have Isabel Matthews alongside on this standing start. Behind them, Georgie Trepchik. However you want to pronounce that surname, I do apologise. Has Olivia Hayward for company. Row 3 sees Ellis Spice, backed up by Jamie Hamill-Smith. Then Rebecca Devon comes in 7th alongside Sean Bowman, Thomas Christian, and Mattia Strock round out the top 10. They will be backed up by Istvan Takacs and Mashik Chashaki. Those are the ones that trip me up. I cannot pronounce Eastern European names, and I sincerely apologise. In the back riding shotgun, Kevin Allen and Chauvet Kirian? Sure.
You're better than me at it. It's amazing. I have to be the one that bails you out on pronunciations. Usually our dynamic is very, very different. I'm gonna make my calls right now. That it's definitely a Trepchik. I'm going with Trepchik, and I'm going with Takas, as we are ready to go green from the standing start.
The green flag flies. We are racing at Monza, and turn 1 notorious for being an incident-prone corner on the opening laps. Piers doesn't look like he's got any company. Isabel Matthews sends it in very deep on the brakes, gets it stopped perfectly, no contact made, gets it up in front, has the relax it, and it is a perfectly executed move for the 3 machine. Isabel Matthews takes P1.
Move like that would almost bring me to tears. I see a black flag on Jamie Hamill-Smith, by the way. Looks like it could have been a jump start for our P6 driver.
Chevik able to hold off Ellis Spice. No way through right now. Tries to look around the outside of this first chicane, but second chicane, excuse me. No doing there. We are running the sensible layout of Monza. As Berry now trying to get that position back. Trying to chase down, but Matthews pulls away a little bit already. And then Olivia Hayward ends up the recipient of P3 at the end of the first half of the first lap. The end of the immediate shenanigans that turn 1 brings. Maybe a look into Ascari for Hayward, but no, she's just going to keep it single file for now. Everyone minding their P's and Q's.
One thing I've heard in this race, by the way, is that even though it's 20 minutes, these tyres will get used to absolute oblivion, including here. So there will be tyre fall-off in such a short race distance. How you work them hard into these fast corners is going to matter a lot.
Not surprised when you consider the power that's going through these tyres, and these don't particularly seem like endurance levels tyres. And also, this is Porsche's Challenge Cup of their own. They're not going to put the best race tyre on, they're going to put one that provides a challenge for these drivers. So fall-off is to be expected as Matthews goes very defensive. Berry slots in towards the outside. Hayward will back Piers up. Maybe 3 wides? Nope, just 2 by 2. Berry trying to make the outside work. It's going to fall back though. Now has Hayward on the outside, gives the space and leave it. Hayward managed to shuffle the position. 2 positions lost in 2 turn 1s for Piers Berry.
Not to be brave into that turn 1, especially even with drivers that you trust. These drivers have to race each other every single week, but that you need bravery and you need commitment to make it through there, and we've not quite seen it yet. He almost looks like he's going to try and go for it again. Not quite. Wonder how and where and when he's going to make his move now, to be honest.
I don't know if he has the move in him, if he's braking. It feels like he's braking a lot earlier than the drivers that have passed him now, as they start to pull away. Ooh, small challenge there from Spice, trying to pick at the outside of Trapiak, who takes a big bite of gravel on the exit of the Lesmos. On the chase now towards Sky Chicane.
Still doesn't look like that gap's going to be made up in time. Piers Berry on the rear end, though, into Ascari.
Too far back to make the move, but the gap has come down between the top 3. Potential for a dive into Parabolica does exist if you can get enough of a run built up. See how much of a draft these cars can get going. Doesn't look to be anything outstanding so far. Hayward definitely gaining, and Isabel has gone defensive. Hayward to the outside. Nothing going just yet, but it's potential to build up a head of steam. Coming through onto the start-finish. The setup, all single file as they come forward. Isabel goes defensive again. Which way does Hayward go? Which way does Berry go behind?
There's a lot going on. We'll focus on this one for now, but there's more controversy going on down behind.
Hayward looks to the outside, no doing there. Isabel should have that one covered off nicely. Yep, Matthews will slot back in line. Single file contact it further back though. As Sakachi gets into the side of Triffic, it looks like they've kept it pointed forwards for now though.
Everyone just about surviving in this case, as I think there's more passes down the back as well. It looked like someone might have lost it, but I don't think so. Just being lost out in the chicane.
Sasaki trying to get the chase down. Might have a dive here into the chicane. Has a look, certainly. I think it's ATO's given the position anyway. And it looks like he has indeed made that pass. Now Masayek Sasaki into P5. But 1, 2, 3 still as they were before. Ooh, very wide there for Olivia Hayward. But keeps the car pointing forwards. I'm still not sure what that livery is meant to be.
Might ask after the fact what that livery is, and we'll try and get a good answer as we're on board. These drivers do seem to be biding their time a little bit, even in less than a 1/10 of a second. She might not be able to make that one up, Olivia, but with 20 minutes, a track that requires bravery, a big move can be a little bit make or break for your whole race. You might want to save it for as long as you possibly can get away with.
Isabel is covering the inside every opportunity she gets. Pulls back in line when she realises there's no challenge. Matthews once again holds the lead. Hayward stays in line but looks very close here. If she's able to keep that distance, this could be very dangerous, but no. Washes out a bit. Builds a bit of an offset. Can she get the draft going? Once again, Matthews goes defensive. Hayward goes to the outside. There's no draft there. You have to defend from Berry as well. They'll just fall in single file. Late move potentially.
Inside's being covered, almost 3 wide, not going to happen. Good covering off there from Isabel Matthews, but they are going to do a little bit of bumping as they try and hustle their way around. Olivia Hayward keeping the advantage. I've been warned there'd be a little bit of contact into these chicanes. It's not going to be full-on moving people, but they are going to really boat their way around it. And if there's a little bit of bumping that comes along, so with it. Ellis Spice has joined onto the back of this four, made it away from Mariak, but that means that he could now become a protagonist in this battle as he approach the almost the halfway mark. Give a lot, actually.
that get into a group, the more you have to worry about the car behind making a move. Especially when you get onto these, massive draft straights. So we have another run here through Lesmo 2.
I think
like a pretty strong exit for Berry there, but not enough of a gap. You don't want to be diving into Ascari unless you could definitely make the move done under braking. And Matthew's been good at back covering the inside of anything looks dangerous, so it looks like we're going to be single file 1, 2, 3, 4 Matthews, Hayward, Berry, and Spice once again. And you're just going to have to wait until start finish.
I think there's going to be elbows out now with Ellis Spice in the picture. It's a 4-player game instead of a 3-player game, and this could... Ellis constantly looks like he's trying to make bigger moves. He's trying to set things off from behind. You see that he just sort of triggered that movement from the front of the grid. I feel like at some point this has to come to blows.
Ooh, it's It's a very good run around the high side of the Parabolica. Now has the draft along the inside. Olivia Hayward's been left out to dry, will fall down to 3rd place. And now with Spice with a full head of steam with the draft of all the cars ahead. Maybe it looks for a move, doesn't go for it. Oh, very late move by Pillsbury. Gets a chunk of grass, gets the back corner of Isabel Matthews, who goes around. Parking lot on the track. Everybody coming to a spot. Invasive maneuvers from Trippier. Oh my lord, how did that not end up in a big pile-up? That's completely shaken up the order. Ellis Spice has made gold out of a terrible situation. Trippier gets to actually round out the podium. Rebecca Davison now P4. Olivia Hayward demoted to 5th with Matthews, Bowman, and Perry's down to P8.
We'll have to see that one again. That was absolute madness.
Oh, and a shove from Hayward.
We'll get back to it. I'm sorry, we got to catch this. Is this the lap one? No. Oopsie.
This is from further back.
We do get it. So let's just catch it on from where it actually happened. Oh, it's touching the grass. Yeah, it was a little bit of a turn left because of touching the grass there on the right-hand side that sort of caused that one by accident.
I just think Barry just didn't have the space and all the time to make that move. He was on the grass coming into that chicane. There's nowhere to go. Oh, car round.
That's Matthias Strock losing it a little bit. That is, a rejoin and a half. But you know what? It was made, so we will...
Unfortunate cutaway timing there.
As we go back to Did I miss it?
There may have been another spin as we cut away.
Well, that one will just go into the archives, I think. And Spice now assuming the lead with a very shaken up order. I've forgotten. Trifshik is now back in it with Shoshasi now in P3. Rebecca Davison, a character we've not seen yet, up in P4, having benefited a lot from that little tussle.
But behind Davison comes Matthews and Hayward, two drivers definitely looking to make up positions. Hayward with a half of a look there, decides against it. Very late dive from Matthews. We've seen her get this late on the brakes before. Just about gets away with it, but has made Davison take some evasive manoeuvres. Cuts the chicane just to get through the track in one piece.
That was a bit of a shoving wide, it looked like, but Davison makes it out of it okay, so not too much harm. But that's quite a hard hit I saw there.
It just looked like Matthews was going too deep and Davison just didn't respect it. Turns in at her normal turning point, and two cars trying to take the same bit of space is never really going to work at any racetrack, let alone Monza.
Now, we're seeing the pressure build up on this track over time. It's going to keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter, I think. And Spice might be getting away with this, but it's not going to cool down anywhere in the middle of the road here with this 4-car train. Of a lot of our previous protagonists all still fighting out on the same kind of road.
Spice has a 2.4 lead over Trippier. So no going there for the lead of this race, but this fight for P4 still very much on. We are past half race distance, so still a lot to play for, and these tyres definitely going away for some of these drivers at this point, is how to assume. So Hayward gets a bite of the grass on the Ascari. Tries to get single file. That is the 3-car of Matthews pulling out a line, trying to make the move on Davison. Rebecca, I don't think he's going to be able to defend this one. You really want that racing line, which comes towards the inside through this corner, and Matthews should be able to slide up here, gets the car in front and takes the position away. Now moves straight towards the inside of the racetrack to cover off the overtake. And Hayward could be really helpful here, because if she can get the draft too far back, though, I think
Davison might go for this, though. I think Davison has the speed, has the worst line here going into this first chicane. It is going to be outbreaking here, I think, by Matthews. But actually, Haywood's going to try and sneak her way in. Taking advantage of a bad line. Almost another incident kicking off. It's going to be okay for now, but I think Haywood has the advantage in these next few corners.
Almost gets the nose bitten off. But Haywood able to keep her foot in it. Challenging Davison, who has fallen back, now has to contend with Berry, who is not really that confident on the brakes right now. Tries to get it underneath, get the crossover potentially. And you can see Davison's just out of line consistently, trying to fight with Haywood. Has the offset of Berry. Ooh, just about gets given the space to the drivers around her. But Haywood will maintain P5 for now.
Maybe we should cut those trees down so we can see a little bit more. A few dents there on the front of Piers Berry's car. Some of this contact really starting to add up for these drivers. I think the small aero gains might matter here just a little, but he's going to try and go for that slipstream on Davison.
Once again, dives out of line. How late on the brakes are you? Are you in deep enough on the corner? Looks like Davison gets a little bit sideways on entry and shoots through the corner. Berry backs off, lives to fight another day. Laps ticking down though, you need to start taking these positions.
Looks like he might have gotten a little bit unsettled from my perspective. But he'll have to give it another shot. Laps are ticking down. We estimate about 11 laps of this race, and we are on the 7th for Ellis. Crossing the line now for the 8th, so there should be about 4 to go.
That gap to P2 has actually come down. Trippier slowly chipping away at that. Keep you updated if anything comes of it. So we go back in the field to see Sean Bowman, 8th place, hounding the back of this flight for 5th place, excuse me.
They're being a bit more peaceful now for a few laps. Maybe we need a truce out here on the Monza battlefield and we can get back to the elbows out in a few laps' time. But it's all gotten a little bit intense in that turn 1, to be honest. Here's Piers Berry. Could make the next move, though. Rebecca Davison does look like on pace. She is a bit down from the drivers around her, but she's been holding position quite well. And, well, it doesn't matter if you're faster if you can't get around.
Bowman misses his braking point, ends up going a bit deep into second chicane to Del Roger as we go through the Lesmos. And now, with the pressure behind the lead, Piers Berry could very much like to make a move into Ascari. Looks for it the last lap, see if he can get it set up again this time, but you really, I think, maybe want that inside line, because I don't think... It depends, because they even looked so strong on the outside last time, but you really want the racing line. But no, Berry's going to stay in single file here. Takes a bit more of the curb on first. Definitely a clean line for Berry here. Oh! It looks so wide there. I'm worried he's maybe spun a tyre on the exit, but you've got a massive draft that shouldn't matter in the long term. Dives again, looks for a move into Parabolica. Davison will have the draft advantage coming into the entry here, but suddenly doesn't look as confident on the brakes. Goes very wide around the outside. Won't get given the opportunity to slide in front though just yet. Davison fighting this one hard and will have the exit speed because of that high side. And it's forced Berry to pull back in line.
I think he's going to make the move this lap. I think Piers is done being patient. We can see the gap being made up. The move's going to come out very, very late here, but there is high speed, and that's a clean out braking. Will it be made cleanly through the corner? He's made entry. Rebecca's given that one up. Piers Berry's got some time to make up now. There are not many laps to go.
1.5 seconds, call it, to Olivia Haywood, who's looking at 1.8 to Matthews, 2.7 to Sashaki, 1.5 and 1.6 then to the leaders between Trippier and Spice. Still potential, but the time very much ticking down. Now under 5 minutes to go. Now 3 laps. Have a look at the fastest laps. That held by Ellis Spice, our current leader. No surprise there, has got a lot of clean space to work with, no real worries behind. Fight for position here between Chauvet Kieran, and that would have to be Jamie Hamill-Smith in the 6th. Ooh, Kieran gets very sideways on the exit, the first Lesmo there. Tries to get the outbreak into Lesmo 2, gets given plenty of room to work with, and... Oh, what happened there? Kieran gets spun hard into the barrier. That car is toast.
Was it murder or was it a mistake? We need to find that one out. These cars get a little bit edgy sometimes, so that is I always hit the cockpit instead of the chopper. Was it a murder?
That you don't. He was going straight. He was fine. You don't swing across like that unless you get tagged in the rear at high velocity from a car cutting across your back. The tree's not really doing any favors to anyone there.
I think I will put that one down as probably hooked in that context. I think I saw enough to make that call. As further back, Rebecca Davison still looking to try and make up this P6 on Piers, who hasn't run away with it completely.
Still, the fight was slowly getting detached. The laps count down. Looking at 2 to go here for Alice Spice, so I want the fight to come, but I don't think Rebecca just has the pace overall around this track. I think the drivers in front of her are just a bit too fast for her right now. Should be able to hold on to P7 though. As Sean's just generally a little bit of inconsistency through every time he's been on camera, and it makes me think he can catch up reliably.
And that's a pit stop right there for somebody else that's also lost it. 2 drivers lost it as well, with Istvan Takas also having crashed earlier on in the race.
And as soon as I say I don't think Damon can catch up, I think Berry's had a slip and now has fallen back into the clutches of the 8 machine. It's not giving an easy pass, but at least Rebecca Davison now has the advantage of the draft, helping it out into Ascari. And I don't think Berry's... No, he's way far off of Olivia Hayward at this point, so no help for the 1 machine. It's going to be foot to the floor for both these drivers, but one of them will have the edge, that being Davison in that Coca-Cola 8 Porsche Mission R. I think that's the name of the car anyway.
I believe it is the Mission R. I would love to see these things in
the
real
Mission
life. Yeah. If you win as a concept car, you can do whatever the hell you want, really, to be honest.
Gap comes up, though, through Parabolica. You can see the splits there. That 0.5 gain in Sector 2 for Damon looks so promising, but I just think across the track, Piersbury might just have the pace overall. White flag should have been taken there by Ellis Spice.
We do get a lovely delay on our white flag sometimes, I gotta say, but this should... If the white flag hasn't flown, then it possibly... Because I don't see any indication of it, we could be getting another. That's very, very curious. I'll keep an eye on Ellis Spice's car as he crosses the line, but I see no indication of it anywhere on my data.
Fantastic.
He might have beaten out the white flag by like a couple seconds, because he was quite a bit down the road.
I don't think he could finish the race, or the lap, excuse me, in 30 seconds from here. There he is on your screen. The gap to Trippic has come down. The gap to Sasachi has also come down. Just, I don't think in 20 seconds either driver can make a miracle happen from that far back. Ellis Spice, all he needs to do is keep it clean and simple. Don't need to do anything crazy here. Just get it across these curbs.
Let's see what Barney's waving when we come around. I would have expected to see a white flag here. I really would have. So... Maybe there's some heebie-jeebies. Maybe I'm not getting the data. Now it finally comes through. This will be the white flag. That took a very long time. So Ellis will be taking this. Is this the win? Because we just came up around. It is the win. Dodgy data.
It's been an eventful race. Spice didn't look like they had the pace in the car at the start, but successfully avoided the carnage, and it will be a victory for Ellis Spice here at Monza. Trippitt comes home in second, followed by Sasashi. Matthews has taken the line now, and Olivia Hayward will round out your top 5.
We'll take a look at some replays of choice incidents throughout that race. So much happened everywhere, but that was absolute chaos.
It's Monza, baby. What do you expect?
It's Monza in a super fast, super high horsepower monster. We love to see it. So as we just head into these finishing results, and then we'll take a look at some driver replays of some major incidents that happened after 11 laps. Ellis Spice takes the win with Georgie Trepaic behind. Make sure... I've lost it now. I've lost it now. It's the only not UK and I in our list. Meshaislaski in P3 with Isabel Matthews in 4. Olivia Hayward in 5 with Piers Berry in 6th. Rebecca Davin in 7th. Sean Bowman in 8th with Jamie Hamill-Smith in 9th. Thomas Christian just behind. One more page. Kevin Allen and Mashia Strock finished out the race with Chalvet Kirian and Istvan Takas all finishing this race in the pit lane after some damage. They look like they're racing. The data is telling me every driver has their checkered flag. Don't ask me questions, okay? No, I think I just saw someone send themselves to the Shadow Realm. Yeah, we're doing a dash to the line. No rules.
The tomfoolery has begun. Spice still has the lead over Hayward. Oh, the bump draft. Oh, that's not a draft. That's a punt. Hayward keeps it in line. They send it off of Parabolica into the barrier and we're going bowling.
It's the sport ender. You don't want to know what happens when those cars' batteries blow up, okay? You don't want to know what happens when they explode. Let's take a look at some of that race.
Fortunately, these are virtual cars with batteries that aren't programmed to explode, at least not catastrophically.
At least not catastrophically, indeed. Let me just check.
And speaking of catastrophe,
let's take a look at our race start first of all.
And it was a very clean getaway here for all the drivers. Honestly, there's no real indication that something was going to go wrong. I had all of the build-up that could have indicated that something was going to go wrong. All I have to say is Berry got out broke. Isabel just sneaks it down the inside there, and Berry gives the space and loses the position for it.
Every time I see that truck on the chopper cam off turn 1, I think, oh God, why is there a car there? It's about the 3rd time this race I've worked that one out. Here's a Chalvet Kirian who may have had an incident of his own. Right into the back of the car in front.
Happened in the middle of the track. That is weird. I think someone's got a little bit too heavy on the anchors and Kirian just ends up snooker-balling them forwards and then takes himself out in the process.
Is it Kevin Allen? We're going to need a little bit further back than that in order to work out what happened between these two running side by side.
Both running Porsche colours, but that is someone coming across a little bit too early to make the corner, methinks. And that's a resafe jointly right there.
And I'll just say, that's epic bad luck, and if you know, you know. It's Van Takas on lap 4, running into Kevin Allen.
Dive bomb?
Two drivers still looking for the same piece of road. That is the story of Monza on many a day. Evasive action being taken behind. And then this one might be the big one. I think it is.
Yep. We'll have a look from the perspective of Sashaki as he just comes up to this corner, sees 4 cars in front of him, and ends up trying to take evasive maneuvers, takes a little bit too evasive, ends up on the grass on the outside.
Now, I think I know what happened here, and it's Piers Berry on the grass here touches the grass and loses the car a bit. Is it Piers? Yes, so he goes for the big dive, and then that's where the wheel's on the grass, and you can just see the thing just slide and pitch and lose control, and the car isn't slowing down at all. I think the move was too optimistic, and as well as turning right at the same time, I don't think they were getting through that without some kind of contact. Granted, it does end up being quite catastrophic for everybody, as we see everybody just swerving left and right to avoid the carnage that ends up happening in front. Lots of drama always kicks off at Monza, I like to say. Here's Mashia Strong. I'm told something happens, okay? Oh, this is the spin. Let's see if we can catch what I missed earlier. There might have been another spin in the back.
Good rejoin, I will say. Waits for the cars to come through and then turns it around safely, and then takes goodbye of this curb and around the car goes.
Oh, I missed that on the first go around. The agony of the sausage curbs. The agony of the curbs.
Even just touching them is not pleasant for any driver in any car. I don't know why they're still there. Oh well.
Here's Matthias Strock, who I believe running into Isvan. Is this it's running into Isfan Takas, and
hello?
that's where the meatball. That's where the meatball came from. Isfan took the meatball from the upper head, actually. Monza is hard.
No, where is the 12 car going?
Monza's hard. That's my rating. It's a shame that Isfan is actually the one that takes the damage from that, because that is definitely nothing he can do. He's caught up.
Oh, that car's crabbing as well.
Caught up by murder. And that's where you got Shalvet Kyrion on lap 9 gets the second meatball. Maybe finally we'll get an angle that lets us see what actually happened here. I think someone was accidentally hooked. Is it Shalvet moving along?
Does sneak the car in front here and then just...
It's Lucius on exit from that purple 6 up in front. He's a little bit loose and that leads to the hook.
And that car, not suitable for racing anymore, unfortunately, and did retire it in the end. Kevin Allen, I think something terrible is going to happen here to him.
It's always, you know, when there's a replay clip, you know something terrible is going to happen. It's like the Omen. That's just those are the tires falling off at this stage in the race. At the end of the day,
just too hot, too worn, and a sad spin there for Kevin Allen.
And can we get the Sport Ender in high resolution? This was post race. The Sport Ender definitely does kick off around here. Let's go slightly later on. Ellis Spice is apparently the first one that gets into contact. I mean, that right there is racing. I mean, quite frankly, you use all the track available to you, including the parts that are not available to you. Masterfully done.
Fantastic move there by Ellis Spice. Gets a full head of steam.
No,
cars behind. Quite.
I mean, at this point, that 8 behind is just is playing Tokyo Drift, and I think at this point they all know exactly where they're going. We can still see the front there of that Hayward.
Oh wait, is that the hamster? I think that's actually a hamster.
Ellis, no, don't do it, Ellis. Oh no, not the concussions, tires. So, I love the iRacing damage model. It's not like the most advanced in the world, but it is still nice to see a sim that lets cars break a little bit sometimes.
And the full car goes around the track normally. Boo. End the sport, you coward.
That's not it. That's not it. Well, that was a very, very fun little race, and these cars have proven about as crazy as I thought they would be. Some great racing, and I gotta say, I picked them up just to watch along here, but I might have to drive them myself at one point.
Well, once again, Spice, your winner. Trepik comes home in P2, Soshek in P3.
We don't need the whole lineup if you
don't
want to read it out,
I will give you the podium. Congratulations, though, to Spice for once again pulling the bag out of the hat. We will be back. I say we. Howie will be back in 2 days for Tuesday Night Arca at Homestead Miami Speedway. We'll be back at some point in the future. We've got IndyCar coming up on, I don't know what day that is. That is the 26th of November. That would be the next week's Tuesday.
The next Tuesday. They do their SOFs like on the rotation hour.
And we'll be back on Saturday with the next race in the Mini Stock Series A on esports.com if you'd like to get involved with that. But until next time, I've been Simon Davis, joined by Harry Burroughs. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.